true believers. This is my channel, Mr. Miracle Comics. My name is Dave. So today I've got a very special video for you. In case you don't know, I've been running an 80th anniversary Batman contest giveaway. So it's 80 years of Batman. I figured I'd do a Batman giveaway. I've got some really great prizes up for grabs. I highly suggest you go find the contest video on my channel, give it a watch, and figure out one of the three ways to enter. One of the ways you can enter is by doing a video. And in that video, you have to tell me two books that you believe are undervalued. I've been doing all of this undervalued books. I figured let's give the viewer a chance and see what they can come up with. So here's 5 of my favorite picks so far. These all come from the video entries. And my first pick is from a gentleman named Ruben Nieves. And Ruben picked the Omega Men #3. First appearance of Lobo. Great pick, Ruben. On the money, brother. So far, we've seen that now Lobo is going to be a character that appears on the show Krypton. Now, Ruben picked this a few weeks ago, and just this week, we finally got our first look of what Lobo might look like on the Krypton television show coming up. So once he hits the screen and everybody's home with who's a fan of Krypton or he's on advertisements, whatever, he's definitely going to perk up in people's minds. And you should see a little bit of a spike for this book. Right now, prices that you can get this book are, you can easily find it $25, $30 US in mint condition. Okay, so still very undervalued considering that Lobo has a lot of potential as a DC character. All right, so great pick, Ruben. Pick number 2 comes from this channel's friend, Caleb the Comic Smurf. And Caleb recommended She-Hulk, #1. All right, the Savage She-Hulk. John Buscema cover, that classic Buscema cover. Everybody loves it. Trying not to get too much glare on there. Anyways, great pick, Caleb. Right, so there's been lots of rumors lately about a streaming TV show with the She-Hulk. Now it's not confirmed, right? So it's still kind of up in the air. But you're always going to hear those little bit of rumors first, and these ones seem like a little more credible rumors. It's not just fly-by-night stuff. Regardless of that, even if that rumor doesn't pan out to actually be a television show, She-Hulk will definitely be showing up in some way, shape, or form in the MCU. Either as a character in a movie, on their streaming service, in some way she's going to show up. I guarantee it. She's way too popular a character not to show up. So picking this book up and I was looking at prices, and you can still find this book, She-Hulk #1, in very fine condition for $25, $30, right, US. I saw a slabbed 9.8 signature book of this for around $350, right? So that's really, on the top end of this, if you're into collecting those like really rare, perfect signed books. But yeah, you can get a really nice copy of this book for $25 to $30. So definitely going to see a big spike of this. This is her first appearance. It has her origin in it, everything. Yeah, great pick, Caleb. Definitely would recommend buying yourself a copy of the She-Hulk #1. All right. So the next book on my list, it's a Silver Age book, and it comes from this channel's friend, the big man, Biggie Shack. And Biggie Shack recommended Action Comics #340, first appearance of the Parasite. Great recommendation, Biggie. Parasite is, he's not Lex Luthor, but he has been in Action Comics and Superman comics for a long time, and he has fought Superman on several occasions. He's not just a fly-by-night character either. He's not a one-and-done character. And I think he's a really cool character, especially, the way his powers work, draining energy and stuff, draining that strength kind of gives Superman, uh, it's very hard to find characters that give Superman a challenge other than making them way stronger than he is, which is just basically cloning him and making him versus him. to have characters where their powers kind of work in a different way but have a big effect on Superman's powers. I really like the Parasite as a character, as well as a Silver Age DC Comics appearance. They're usually really expensive, and they're getting more and more expensive all the time. But people seem to have just skipped over this one for some reason, because you could still find this book, um, 25 to $40 for a nice one. If you're gonna get a really nice mint condition unslabbed, you probably pay less than $100. If you want, like I saw a 9.8 slab of this book go for, or a 9.2, sorry, a 9.2 slab of this book up on eBay there for around the $500 mark. You know, Silver Age comics rarely come around in the nines. Like that's these guys didn't. There wasn't a lot of comic collectors. You couldn't go down to the comic shop. There was no comic shop. You couldn't buy bags and boards and acid-free boxes, right? Kids kept them in piles and on bookshelves, or like, so getting 9.2s of a Silver Age comic is really rare. And if you can get it for $500 for the first appearance of a DC character in it, I think that's really undervalued. Now you're probably like me, and even at $500, you're not willing to pay that. I mean, some people do have deeper pockets, and that's the kind of thing they want to buy, and I think that's a good buy for them. Um, don't forget that there is a pin-up in the center of this, right? Make sure that the pin-up is intact, and you can get really decent copies of this book for $40-50 US, and I think that that's a genuinely a good value, especially getting a Silver Age first appearance. Again, even if the Parasite never shows up in anything, you got a great first appearance from a great Silver Age Superman villain. All right, so great pick on that one, Biggie Shack. Okay, so this one was from one of the newer entries lately, and this one comes from Robert over at the Comic G Spot, and he picked Fantastic Four Annual number 5. So this book is from 1967, and it has the first appearance of Psycho Man in it. However, that is not the reason it's undervalued. The real undervalue to this book, and the part that very few people know about, is that it contains the very first Silver Surfer solo story. So you can see special bonus, right? It's listed right there. A complete feature-length thriller. So that's very undervalued, considering that everybody's just, biting out their fingernails waiting for the Silver Surfer and Galactus to show up in the MCU. Again, it's one of those hidden things. You got to have your comic knowledge in there to know that that's where his first solo story is. This book predates Silver Surfer number 1, and Silver Surfer never had his own solo story before this in the regular run of Fantastic Four. He appeared several times, but he never had a solo story. He was always in there with the Fantastic Four somewhere. So having his own solo story here, and this book, I can easily go online and find this book for around $30 in really nice shape. If I want to get really fancy, get a very fine one, I could pay $80 for it, $90, right? It is a Silver Age book, but near mint copies are probably going to push you up about 100, 150. That's unslabbed. Unslabbed. Okay, once you get to the slabbing, there's a price point and stuff on there that we'll do another video about that another day. But yeah, having Silver Surfer's first solo story, Silver Age book, first appearance of another character, Psycho Man. It has the Inhumans in it, it has the Black Panther in it, it has the Fantastic Four in it. So these are all early appearances of those guys. This is a great spec book. Okay, definitely want to pick this book up before people start getting wind of it, before the Silver Surfer shows up in the MCU, and then all of its books are going to start jumping up in price, right? And again, with a Silver Age book, it's going to hold its value, guys. It's not one of those up for a few months then gone kind of things, right? It's been here for 40 years. It's going to be around for, that much longer, or I guess even longer than 40 years, much longer than 40 years. But it's going to be around that much longer, right? Like, it's always going to have some kind of value. So putting your $30 into a Silver Age book, you may never see it turn into a $300 book, but you're not going to lose your $30 either, right? So it's a great pick to be picking these Silver Age books that are flying under the radar. Annuals in general tend to fly under the radar. Okay, so our last pick today is Spider-Woman #1. This book comes from 1978. It has Carmine Infantino did the pencils on the inside. Um, Joe Chanot, he did the cover book for the books here, and it is written, I believe, by Stan Lee. No, She-Hulk was written by Stan Lee. I'm not sure who wrote this one. Sorry, guys. Okay, but this book was recommended to this channel by a couple of people. Um, JP or Jason over at JP's Comic Collects Budget Collecting. We're at JP's Budget Comic Collecting. Great channel. Definitely want to go check out JP's channel. Um, and Comic Altruism, another Canadian friend of mine, just put this one up as a recommendation as well. So it's not her first appearance, right? Her first appearance happened in a different series, but this is her first, the character's first solo book, her first series book on her own, as well as this has her origin in it. Okay, so you can find this book, and I found this book for $10, like a bunch of them that sold for $10. There's near mint copies of this going for $50. I've seen one that was signed by Stan Lee and Joe Chanot. It was only listed for like 300. I mean, this book is really, really undervalued. I think it's a really good pick. I know it's not her first appearance, so everybody's going for Marvel Spotlight 32, her first appearance. But this book is really, really important to the character too. And if you can get, a decent copy of this for $20, why not, right? Get it before there is a TV show, before she shows up in a Spider-Verse movie, before, you know, everybody starts to realize who Jessica Drew is, right? Get this book now. So it was a really, really smart pick from both Jason and Comic Altruism. I totally agree. Spider-Woman #1 is definitely undervalued, right? Spider-Woman #1, 1978. All right, so that's been 5 picks from some of the viewer picks that I've had. I've had so many entries that, smart entries, guys, just like this. I'm going to have to do a few of these videos just to get through everybody's picks. So if you didn't hear your book this time, don't worry. I'm probably just going to catch up with you in a later video. I'm probably going to end up I'm getting so many picks now that I'm going to end up doing more than 5 at a time, right? So keep your ears open. Your book will be in another video, I promise. This has been Mr. Miracle Comics. My name is Dave. Please go enter my contest. Please subscribe to my channel. And please like this video. And please have yourselves a great week.